Hello, I'm Martin Fencka and welcome to the first part of Let's Play King's Bounty: The Dark Side. If you are following my channel for a while and if you watched some of my Let's Plays, you know that I always make the first part of a Let's Play more like an introduction. Though in this case, because King's Bounty has been around for quite a while, there really is not too much I want to talk about. Most of you guys already know the game and really just want to see me playing the game, how I can handle it on impossible difficulty, of course. So really just some basics. Why King's Bounty? Well, some time ago I already played one of the King's Bounty games on camera, but the Let's Play ended up quite soon because of some technical difficulties I have. It was the Warriors of the North. I managed to get like the second island, and I encountered the bug, and the game just kept crashing, so the Let's Play ended up pretty early. This time I actually tested the dark side for quite a bit, played it for a while, and everything seems to be quite smooth, so hopefully this time we'll be able to finish the Let's Play and I'll be able to finish another of the King's Bounty games. The King's Bounty series has 4 games, started with Legends, followed by Crossroads. I played those 2 games quite a lot. Then I didn't have times for Warriors of the North, and when I wanted to play it, as I said, I couldn't get too far because of some technical problems. And Dark Side I played for a while but never finished it, so now it's time to get back to it and finish the last from the King's Bounty series. The games before the Dark Side were all for the good side, or for the side of the light. We are killing demons and undead, and in the 4th game the developers decided to take us to the other side, to introduce the world of King's Bounty from the evil creature's point of view. We are in the situation where the good basically almost conquered the world, and there are only few dark creatures remaining, and we'll be trying to take over the world, conquer the world for the dark side, overthrow the rule of the good, and create a nice world where all the evil creatures can live happily together. When we check the settings that, or the options that we have before we start the game, there really is not too much. As I said, we'll be playing on Impossible. From races, the usual warrior, commander, mage, 3 choices that we have just because we are playing for the evil. It's called Orc, Demoness, and Vampire, but yeah, Orc focused on like strength and doing just as much damage as possible with his rage abilities. Demoness focused on leading armies, and Vampire mage class. I found Oric Let's Play on YouTube already, so that is basically not an option. I'm not gonna do something someone else already did. Demoness, the commander style is something I usually do, and for this I want to do something different, so that leaves me only with the Vampire. So that's what we are going with. We can read the description for the class. Vampire hunters will soon besiege the castle of the ancient Demorten clan. Young Dart is forced to leave his homestead in search of allies among the other dark creatures, or dark races. All must join or risk perdition. A vampire prefers wisdom and knowledge to brute force. He doesn't command large armies, but is an expert of magic. Variety of spells and skills allows a vampire to adapt to any battlefield. So, as I said, basically a mage. Just the vampire fits better to the theme of the dark. Our name I'll leave as it is because, well, here they say nickname, but it feels more like a first name and second name, and to the vampire, the Demorten feels, let's say, appropriate, so I'm not gonna change that. But there is a good emblem for a vampire somewhere. It's actually this one. Really like it, fits the theme of the vampire. If I can read these words correctly, it should be Carpe Jugulum, and yeah, that really fits the vampire theme. So that's what we are going to take, and we can go into the game. Really don't want to spend too much time explaining. I just want to get to the game as soon as possible. The story in the game is like, I think all of it actually is in the written form, and I will read it for those who don't know the game. It's quite important to know what's going on. And even for myself, as I said, I didn't finish the game yet, so I need to read these things to make sure I don't get lost. The game is quite large. You'll get quite ridiculous amount of quests, and it can be quite easy, and it is quite easy to get lost in all of that. So I have to read all the text to make sure that I don't get lost basically in the game. We are starting with the messenger bat telling us, Messiah, Clarissa sent me. Vampire hunters are approaching the castle. You cannot stay here any longer. You must flee before there are too many of them. Squads of hunters and paladins are approaching from the Abode of Light. Take your grandfather's sword and gather everyone capable of wielding a weapon. Clarissa is waiting for you in her shack. So tell Clarissa that I am coming already. Okay, here's our Greatfather's sword. Quick look on our inventory. As I said, I'm not gonna explain things. There is a lot in the game, but and as a player, it's quite important to have some idea how it works. But if you are just watching the Let's Play, you will pretty quickly understand what's going on. So I think that explaining all these things would be just pointless. Most of you guys already know these things, so yeah, let's just equip the sword, and I think we're gonna start playing. Maybe just basics. Here's our inventory with slots for items. Here are our stats. Gold, mana, and rage are our combat resources. Awards. When we perform certain action, we get points here, and if we accumulate a certain amount of points, we get the bonus, extra leadership, you can see it, extra damage, and many other things. These awards are quite important, and some of them we will try to focus as much as possible early, because in Dark Side, there at one point very early in the game are some ridiculous ridiculous fights, and we need to get certain medals or awards to make sure that we can get through those fights. So for example, like Grand Strategian will be a focus or an important medal very early, because the 200 leadership means we can have a larger army. And to get this, we need to win 20 fights without losses. So early, we will be trying to win all the fights without losses. Throughout the Let's Play, I don't really care about losses. Of course, I will try to play without losses because it's more effective, but I'm not gonna try to pull off something like complete playthrough without losses. I honestly think that for a Dark Side, it's not even possible. I was able to do it in the Legends, in the first game in the series, but as I said, in the Dark Side there are some stages of the game with really ridiculous fights that probably can't be done without losses, or I have no idea how I would do it. On the other hand, also, I'm not like an expert on the Dark Side. Basically, after the Legend, I wasn't playing these games too much. There are players who are much better in these games, and sometimes I even don't understand some things they can do. But even after I said this, I still don't think that the Dark Side can be done without losses. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. So these are stats, inventory, and here are our skill tree. Of course, as a mage, we will be getting magic runes the most. So this will be our this will be the area where we will be investing the most. But my first focus actually will be on diversions, because we need to get some traps on the battlefield as soon as possible. Early in the game, traps are doing quite a ridiculous damage, and this will be one of our main tools that will allow us to get through those tough fights that I mentioned. Now, when the explaining, well, some of the basic explaining is behind us, we can just start playing here in the underground. We can grab some units, but I would get rid of these skeletons anyway, so I'm not even gonna pick them up. What I am gonna pick up are these vampires. A ghost I'll throw to reserve, so these 2 units won't show on the battlefield in combat, and I'll get rid of zombies so that we have only vampires in the army right now. The reason why I'm keeping vampires only in the army is because they are level 3 and they have 70 hit points together with regeneration, so every turn we regenerate damage that we take, unless we lose a unit. So if we take less than 70 damage every turn, we can heal completely and we won't be losing units. So this will be my way of going through some of the early fights without losses. I'll basically just regenerate through everything, or hopefully I'll be able to do it. Because some fights, even with this, can be quite close. We can't, of course, with only 2 units in the army, do that much damage. So that's the plan for the early game. Let's just get out of the basement and run away before those vampire hunters can catch us. Maybe one thing before I move on. I have the music and sound effects turned off, but there are still some sounds and noises the environment makes they can't turn off. I have no idea how that can be turned off. When we check the options, you can see that I have everything as quiet as possible, and no matter what I do, if I have the music and sounds this way, or if I don't know which one turns them off. I think this turns them off, and I apply it. The environment still makes some noise, and sometimes it can be annoying. I'm saying this because I want to apologize. I can't do anything about this. Quite early, you will see what I mean once we get through this first pack of mobs. Before we get to that, I'll just pick these eggs. And can we loot something from the skeleton? No, we can't, because early we really want to pick up everything. The start of impossible can be quite crazy. Okay, so we have everything we can take here, so let's go into the first fight, and then we'll get to Clarissa, which is probably gonna be all for the first part. Because even though I didn't want to do that much explaining, it's still a lot of talking, so let's make this first part more like an introduction of the Let's Play, and we'll focus more on like fighting and stuff in the next part. What do we have here? Some witch hunters. What is this? A novice and the swordman. So level 2, and this is level 1. No, this is level 2 as well. But we should be able to regenerate through this quite easily. You can see when the abilities and talents, when I check all the units, that there is a lot, and there are really many types of units, and there is really no point explaining this. Either you already know it, or if you have never played these games, you wouldn't remember these things anyway from just me explaining how they work. So when there is something important, I'll just say how it works, and the rest is really not that important, as long as I can like have it in mind and not do something stupid to run into some special ability or something. Maybe because we'll be using vampires, our special ability is transformation. We can turn into a bat, and that gives us extra movement. It makes us a bit weaker, but basically it's important when we have to run away or kite something that we can transform and be faster. I don't think we're gonna need it for this fight. I'll use some of our spells. We are starting with a slow and poison skull. So slow is self-explanatory, and poison skull is a direct damage spell that leaves a dot behind. I would like to get rid of one of these stacks, and we got lucky with the damage roll, so one of them is down. Here, this swirly dark thingy, maybe I could talk about that or say what that is. It's called... actually not sure how exactly it's called, but it's basically dark energy that can stay on the tile where unit died, and when a living unit enters that tile or comes too close, this disappears and damages the unit or when an undead unit enters that tile, it gets healed. So because we are playing for the evil side, we can sometimes use this to our advantage for healing, or we try to use it in a way that we force good units to walk into it, and this is some extra damage that we can get on the map. It can be important early in the game. Okay, so you can see that as long as we take less than 70 damage per turn, we can regenerate through and stay on 2 vampires in the stack. If we take more than 70 damage, we would lose a unit, and the vampire would be dead, because we can't like revive vampires with like life leech or something. At least I don't think that, or I know that these guys can't do it. There are some like higher tier vampires, and I think they can actually resurrect the dead units by just like leeching life from other units. I don't remember all these things really. It's been a while since I played the game for more than like a few hours. In like last, let's say, 2 years. All I did was some time ago I tested the game to make sure that I can make a let's play, and that's about it. It will take me a while to get back into it and like to recall all the special abilities and stuff, but hopefully it'll be fine and I won't fail too much early. So here's our victory, quite an easy one, some extra gold, and we have a prisoner. We will be getting prisoners from every fight, depending on how many units we kill. The more we kill, the more prisoners we get, and we can turn them later into either units or we can use them for other things. Really not important right now. And this is the noise that I was talking about. You can already hear it, and that's something I can't do anything about. I really have no idea how to turn it off. If you know how I could do it, please let me know. I would do it. But I don't think there is a way in the game to turn these off. This is not that bad yet, but once you get closer to the source of the noise, it will get worse, and it can be quite annoying. I'll try to stay away, but can't always do it. Yeah, like this bubbling sound, it's the cauldron, and it will just be there no matter what I do, so I apologize. Okay, this is Clarissa's hut. It's the witch that sent the messenger bat, so let's talk to her. You took far too long to get here, Messiah. There is no time to lose. You need to leave Portland urgently before vampire hunters cross the river. It will be impossible to hold the castle without any backup, with only your forces at hand. Save yourself and your faithful warriors, Messiah. You are probably right, Clarissa. Go to the dwarves, Messiah. They must accept you. They have been neutral for more than 700 years. Take a little rest with the dwarves, collect your strength and make some acquaintances. And then come back to Portland with backup and drive these soldiers from the light back over the river. I believe in you, my old friend. Thank you, Clarissa. I'll stay in my forest hut. Those of the light won't hurt me here. They believe me to be a young beauty, the daughter of a local hunter who went off in search of a living. I'll watch the situation and I'll report to you when we meet. The entrance to the catacombs, as you know, is in the old crypt at the cemetery. I hope the hunters haven't reached yet, but we need to hurry. Yes, that's right. I've got to go. See you later, Clarissa. See you later, Messiah. May the road be easy for you, and may any chance encounters you have be safe ones. Good luck, Messiah. By the way, it would do you good to refresh yourself before your long journey. I saw a lost peasant in the forest, so be sure you find him. You need your strength. You have to take care of yourself when Clarissa isn't around. Thank you, Clarissa. See you soon. Okay, so now we can continue through the forest, and we'll try to leave this island as soon as possible and get to dwarves. But there are still some fights that we can do on this island, and they are quite important. We need to do as many fights as possible to get to the Grand Strategian. So I'll try to kill everything that there is on the island, but it will be in the next part. As I said, this is more like an introduction of the Let's Play. So I hope that you liked it, that you're gonna join me for the next part, and until then, have a good time. Bye bye.